Hey guys, it's Nick. Thanks for tuning in to Long Island Wargaming. A video that I did not intend on doing initially, but I'm going to because there's still been some talk, but also I got some PMs and then some comments on this video that I posted, which I didn't brand as a battle report. I always write battle reports in my battle reports. I just put it down as a video that was just about the lords and shenanigans and exalted heroes and blender lords and stuff. And originally I didn't want to put this game up for two reasons, because I had a lot of proxies, but because I didn't really like the game. But I got some messages that I was like that wanted to know, like, how did the game go? What are your thoughts? And I posted them. So I figured I'd go through some of the comments and just react, because I got a bunch of good ones, a bunch of bad ones, and some indifferent ones. So Sustainable Center off the bat, he agrees. Now, before posting this, he threw up a video. I didn't get to listen to more than the first minute or two, but I think he might change some of his thoughts on it, because I know Tremendous also threw up a video. So if you want their opinions, go check that out, see what they say. Casual from nerdhammer.net agrees with me 100% on the 50% Lord stuff. I think that your attitude reflects the thinking of a lot of players. It just happens to be that you make videos. Wow, this is longer than I thought. I get people saying, well, don't play it. And it's a valid point for those of you who produce content and grow this hobby. You should be playing it and showing it and letting the player base know how we feel. You can always have your house rules and friendly matches and lists, but at the end of the day, all this stuff is legal. And that's what hits home to me. Going to the first point, hey, I put my advice and my opinions up because that's what I'm going to do. If you don't like them, that's fine. Whatever. But the second thing is he points out that it's legal. And it's one thing if you get the Storm of Chaos or, Badlands or whatever expansion or supplement, you can decide whether you use it or not. This isn't a supplement any longer. It's no longer, do you want to do Nagash or not do Nagash? It's just changes the rules straight up. 50% Lord, 50% hero. And whether that's a good or bad thing, that's a completely different argument. And I'll get into that towards the end of it. But it's no longer just a thing we do on the side. It's part of the game. And yes, I have a small meta where I play with my 5 or 6 friends, but hey, if somebody reaches out to me over YouTube or G Plus and says, hey, I just found you, I live on Long Island too, let's play a game. Now I have to throw into the mix, well, is this person going to be playing not only a silly, cheesy, douchey list, are they going to be bringing the 2 Demon Princes? Like, it just opens up the gates for more silliness that if I just stay, let's play a straight-up pitch battle game with regular rules, well, the regular rules now say 50% Lord and Hero, which we kind of have to comp out ourselves. So it's just legal, and that's what I was getting at. I don't like that it's there. Is it going to balance out over time? Yeah, but it's too much of a change to the game to either A, meet their supplements so you can get these giant lords in, or B, because they just don't know what they're doing and they want to just change it and keep us on our toes, which, hey, as a business, they can do whatever they want. This will reach out, back to Casual's post, this will reach out to tournament organizers and local game stores owners and allow them to really consider their own house rules, or comp, as we call it. Attendance will suffer severely over time with such a killing rule in place. It's new, no question, but we can't seriously look at it as a good move for the game. I've played a few games of it, and it's just trash, really. If you thought a Gutstar was tough before, you've seen nothing. And yeah, now you could have 2 tyrants and the Slaughtermaster. No big deal. It just makes those lists that were kind of edgy all that much worse or better, depending on whether you're the person behind the Gutstar or not. We've seen Hero Hammer thrown down, which is in previous editions, and there's some comments on that. But yeah. Casual says, keep the attitude, Nick. Show them the worst of it so we can change it. Mr. Malorian, this is what put me off. You could take these rules and make it fun, but overall, I don't see it as a positive change. And I mean, Malorian's out of the fantasy scene right now, and this could have been one of the factors that pushed him out, although he's more interested in Warma Hordes. This is just one less thing that would have kept him in. Let's say, excuse me, let's say this was a change, there was a change made that changed the game to his liking. Well, we'd have a huge key player in the Warhammer community, Mr. Malorian, still playing fantasy, but since it wasn't a thing to pull him in, it was just one more thing to push him away, we lost a pretty influential character here in the YouTube and/or Warhammer community. Pirater Bot Ninja, sorry. Now, the real question is this actually a good list? Min-Core, 2 Demon Princes, a big unit that can be chaffed up and redirected at will, not to mention magic to end War Machine off the board. The answer is I don't know. It might not be a good list. Me and Ryan decided, hey, let's just go ahead and abuse these rules. So I brought max lords, max heroes, some min core, and like one choice in rare. And he did the same. Blend the lords and the like, and 2 Terrorgeists, and just all the cheesiest stuff, because now you can bring just more cheesy stuff if you are able to kit out your heroes and lords to that potential. I mean, Warriors of Chaos, when you have all those Zinch heroes running around, who cares? We got 3 up board saves, 4 board saves. We're re-rolling rolls of a 1. Like, it's no big deal. And, you know, that kind of stuff you can abuse. And I'm very surprised there's 5 viewers at, 10 a.m. Eastern time. But, hey, if you have questions, throw them down. I'll take a look at them before I end off this video. So back to Pirate Boy Ninja, Bot Ninja. New Hero Hammer is just another skewed build. Okay, I get that. And like all skill builds, it's rock, paper, scissors, and there can be so many standard builds that would chew through that list of yours, no problem. Agreed, I do. Just because you can do a thing doesn't mean it's a good call. Armies could be 50% lords and heroes. Is 75% really all that much different? I think it is, and I do respond to that because you can sink more points into heroes or lords selectively to do something cheesy if you want. I mean, now instead of bringing 10 Skaven chieftains with halberds, cheap heroes, I can bring 10. I mean, think about how many goblin heroes you can bring now. It's off the wall. So he responded, and I have not yet looked at this, and this is a lengthy post, so I'll breeze through quick. There's so many more builds that this opens up, just as the bases that you had skimmed just a little to get them in 625 points. Yes, but I mean, some situations it helps out because, yeah, now you can get that Lord and that Slann in the same list and have a combat hero and a magic hero. You don't have to sacrifice one or the other. I get that. That's the good change that I am happy about. I mean, I can bring a Warlord and a Gracier, but this also opens up the can of worms for a Skaven player. Let's say, let me get a decent Lord, Warlord, and 2 Graciers. And you pump 2 Graciers full of Warpstone tokens and some Lord saves and some equipment. Hell, that's 2 Dread 13th a turn, and he's getting them off. I mean, he's going to get 6 dice no matter what with these Warpstone tokens, and you have a Scalm, you'll get your wounds back and whatnot. But the potential is just disgusting, and I don't know. Just my thoughts. I mean, I can get 2 Graciers on Screaming Bell, which, I mean, some people argue that's not an optimal choice whatsoever, but the fact that it's there is just weird, and I don't particularly like it. But vampires can, this is Pirate Boy, vampires can properly kit both vampires and Master Necro now. Yes, kind of like what I was saying with the Slann. Oh, and you go ahead and mention that too. So yeah, but warriors can strip level 4 off their Demon Princes, and they can have, what, 4 of them? Demon Princes 235, I think. You can smash in 4 there. Why you'd want to, I don't know. There are only 4 wounds, but somebody that's not prepared for that and has no shooting, all those Demon Princes would be a pain in the ass, but easily killable. None of these invalidate any of the old builds. I don't know. It could. I mean, I don't want to see Silverhelm buses everywhere because you could just stick more and more heroes in there. But thank you, Pirate Bot Ninja, for some comments. Chris Tasuki, one of my good friends here. Tournament organizers will have to make all games Blood and Glory to require army lists to have a fortitude of 8. Without that requirement, Hero Hammer like this will be at the norm. Well, I feel like tournament organizers are going to nip this in the butt right away. And I mean, there's 2 conversations here: the tournament organizers and or just the friendly local store. Like I said earlier, if somebody reached out to me and says, hey, I want to play a game with you, if it's not one of my friends, it's just, this is the norm. This is the 50% rule. It's part of the game now. Ugh. But as far as Fortitude 8, yeah, I mean, making it so that comp systems require a certain amount of fortitude for your list to be legal if they are to have the 50% lords, that's an interesting way about doing it. So, Alex Bowler, why don't you make a list that you think is fun with the 50% lord rule and try looking on the positive side as well? It might change your opinion, it might not, but it might give you a better view on what GW is trying. Yes, I went into this with a negative attitude to begin with because I don't like it, and I still don't think I like it. But maybe if I try playing a game with a positive attitude and make a list that's fun, hell, it might change. However, depends on who you're playing. And I know somebody made a post later I think it was Todd, maybe Todd, I forget, but it was, don't play a dick. Don't be a dick. But not everyone has that luxury. I mean, I've got my friends when I say, listen, I'm gonna try something different, try not to beat me into the ground. They'll cooperate because they're my friends. We play once to twice a week, but not everyone has that luxury. So if I go ahead and bring the fun list where I have a bunch of different heroes on chariots or heroes running around on foot or in small units of fast cab or something, that does sound like fun. But if we're using Plague of Undeath magic lore or whatever at 50% lords, all I need is somebody to bring that blunderbuss and one by one plow through my heroes, and it negates the fun. So I got to have my opponent on the same page, which I have the luxury of doing. So maybe I will try that, but not everybody does. So I ask Alex what he thinks a fun list is. He replies, I would try a list with a whole bunch of Goblin War bosses or giant cave swigs, or try and see how having a Black Orc boss in a number of units deals with animosity. Yeah, the Black Orc bosses around getting rid of animosity is huge. It's cool. Having that hero, if he's in orcs, that's fine. He could be in the middle of the rank. If he's on goblins, then he's on the outside, which sucks. But this is this sounds fun for you, but the opponent that excuse me, that doesn't want to deal with the character walls is not going to have fun. Because when you take 100 goblin archers and then line them in the front with not just 10 but 15 or 20 goblin heroes, hell, that's going to take forever to deal with because you're going to be steadfast with all those ranks, but also you have to direct your attacks against each and every single individual goblin. And I'm assuming you're equipping him with a great weapon for whatever it is, like 30 or 40 points. That's a pain in the ass because, yeah, I can kill a whole bunch before they get to attack, especially if I'm high initiative, but I'm losing attacks because I have to delegate them towards certain heroes, depending on my initiatives, and my attacks are lost, and you're still going to have plenty of heroes to attack back with, and it's just, I don't know. I don't see that being as fun. Wow, there's 10 more posts. So he recommends some ideas of a fun list. You can go ahead and read those if you're still interested. As for my thoughts, and this is for Alex, as for my thoughts on the 50% rule, I think GW are play testing it now and will hopefully make it a requirement and changes for 9th. I guess, maybe. I like a lot of other things that they will restrict the same numbers of each model you can take, maybe 1 each lord and 2 heroes. I guess that's interesting because you know what? This might be, and this is an epiphany I might just have had, and I don't know if anyone else has mentioned it yet, so I apologize if it's redundant, but this might be the move back to choices. Because when you're playing a 2,000 point game in 7th edition, I believe you still only had 1 lord choice, but you can max out as many points as you wanted in him. You can even take a special character. It didn't matter how many points he was. Maybe that's the direction they're moving in. Maybe lord choices at the 2K level or 3K level will be 2 lords. And those 2 lords could be about 1,250 points, that 50%. So maybe they're just trying to condition us for choices again. I don't know. That would be an interesting change because they flip-flop about that through editions, and hey, who knows. Do I agree with your giant character walls are no fun, especially... All right, so he does agree on that. Dwarf Lord on Shield Bearers that Malorian was talking about. Yeah, I mean, and that was something I even wanted to do because I've got 2 Dwarf Lord on Shield Bearer models. I have the old one, and then I've got the one with the white dwarf one. It's a cool model. I want to do 2 of them with the BSB. I think that'd be great, but who would get through that? Toughness 10, 1-up armor, 4 board saves. It's just annoying. And then it becomes the game of avoidance. I'm just going to avoid that dwarf unit the whole game, and then it becomes more of cat and mouse than it actually is a game of war. Rubicon, what's up, dude? Haven't seen you posting too much lately, at least on my videos, but hey, thanks for commenting. Rubicon is not a fan of the 50% rule. If your lures don't fit, play a larger point scale battle. That's a solution. If you want to bring that special character that's over the 625 points, go a little bit bigger. This way it scales out the battle a little bit more fairly or evenly. Thank God I'm not alone in disliking this new rule. Stephen Walker, I'm not a fan of this either, but I've noticed that it doesn't really give a significant advantage to anyone. I think time will tell with that. I think some armies will benefit more and some won't. So I disagree on that because certain armies that can get that extra vampire or can get, that 2nd or 3rd lord that will make a difference will, have a little bit more of an edge, but until we see enough battle reports and enough games and enough list compositions to find out, then we'll get there. I'm not sure if that's right. Mertens, Thomas Mertens. I'm pretty sure this is the land of Mert, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to play some games to weigh in. Agreed. Like I just said, we need a bunch of games to figure out where this is going. And then I go ahead and recommend to bring three Demon Princes. That's just me trolling. Materim. I really think that this list. I really think that it was the list that more than the 50% Lords rules change that sucked the fun out of it. But let's be honest, douchey lists are going to suck the fun out of it, no matter what the list composition is. Okay, so looking at a tournament where there aren't certain heroes or lords comped out, those douchey lists are the lists that max out on certain types of selections, like lords and heroes. And we now give people the opportunity to max it out more and bring even more. So the douchey lists will come exponentially, I think, but it depends on how at least GTs will comp it out. Oh, wow, there's more. Materim is actually starting to like this rule. Interesting. I think it really does play into the narrative side of things. I'm rarely maxing out the lords or heroes, but it does open up possibility to bring in more fun things like different mounts and stuff on lowered points. And yes, okay, so that makes sense. And that's if you are going for these fun, fluffy games, which, if you know Materim, he does the narrative battle reports. And maxing out at 625 points, hey, if you need 700 points to get that second hero in and make it an interesting game, hell, you got it now. But it's not just an extra 75 points you got an entire extra 625 points to work with. So, yeah, it could be great for a narrative battle. I agree. For something fun or fluffy or a campaign or whatnot. But, I mean, it's when people start to abuse it that it's abused, you know. Back to Materim, I would recommend putting the BS list aside and just build a couple of fun lists with some of the Lord Hero options that you'll never take because they are too expensive, and see how it fits into your list. Yeah, I mean, going to ogres, for argument's sake, I could bring a hunter and not care now and still get my other heroes in there. I mean, you could bring a hunter now, but think about how many hunters I could bring on Stonehorns, plus how many Stonehorns I could take in rare. Like, it's weird. Not optimal, but different, and that could be fun. That could very much be fun, even though no steadfast kind of sucks. But going back to earlier, will my opponent reciprocate the fun list, though? If I've got someone that will cooperate, hell yeah, they will. Vince. Do I like the rule change? Yes. Do I like filth? No. Are these two ideas mutually exclusive? Certainly not. Before the change, there are plenty of filth and bustedness in the game. If it was perfection before, there wouldn't be comp. The ETC comp list is miles long, and that is under the old rule still. This is an additional few sentences on the list. Oh, there's 20 more lines. Wow. All right, let me breeze through this real quickly. I don't want to bore you guys. When you are playing with your friends, agree on how you are playing and don't play this type of game if you don't enjoy it. All right, so to sum up that paragraph, that's great. I can do that with my 5 or 6 friends. We can cop it out and just not even use it, or if we decide to use it, let the opponent know. That works. Next paragraph. If the point is you don't like filthy lists, focus on heroes. That focus on heroes, cool. No issue there. But reality is, before this change, you had 25% lords, 25% heroes, and 25% rare, which were often big single monsters. So long before this showed up, you could have easily found yourself in a hero monster hammer situation with only a piddly 25% of your army in actual troops. Agreed. Yeah, that's true. But again, 9th edition could go back to choices, so we could eliminate some of those. I mean, they could do percentages and choices. That would be just weird. So I would imagine you and your group frowned on such lists in the past. Feel free to continue to do so now and not play them. Point taken. I appreciate that. Maybe that's what I will go ahead and do. But it sucks that personal metas are going to become so different than the GT metas or just the big picture metas, because the further and further your individual groups have to comp the game to play it to your liking. I mean, my GT lists are going to be so different than my, friendly games, which is fine, but I just don't like the way that we're going in 2 different directions. I would like Warhammer to go in one direction. This way we're all on the same page and everyone's happy, but Please don't take that as a negative light. It is constructive criticism, and I very much want to see more of Long Island Wargaming on YouTube and hope to see Brat Raps you do enjoy in the future. Hey, I appreciate it. And that's Vince. I think Vince actually watched some of my other videos and was, quickly realizing that this was just a one-shot deal. I am throwing up. I have 4 more, just small points game, 1,000 points, 1,250, 1,500, and those are fun. And I bang them out in an hour and a half. It's fun. You invest less time in the game, so it's not like after 3 hours you're like, shit, that really sucked. After an hour and a half, I was losing, and I had to play it out for my opponent to, get his glory. But this one, you know what? If I'm losing, hell, it's done in a half an hour, and I can bang out 1 or 2 more in the same time as a giant 2,000, 3,000 point game. So, yep, I've got fun stuff coming, and I don't think we're going to be doing too much of this 50% Lord stuff as of right now. Todd S. Seriously, if you're going to have that kind of pissed off attitude, don't bother to post it. That was horrible. I mean, what's YouTube without people just posting their disgruntled, opinions? And hell, if people weren't posting their disgruntled opinions anywhere, we wouldn't have newspapers. Let's be honest. It would just be, there would be no opinions. And hell, this is what my channel is. This is, I'm going to put down what I think. I mean, I apologize if it's the 1 or 2 videos you don't want to see on my channel, but hell, I'm going to put out what I think, and that's that. As for the rules, they are good fun. They are good fun to be able to get big dragon riders and other things back in the game, or level 4 in a combat lord. Yes, I agree to that. Yes, some spam and me combos do break it, but there's the thing, etc. ETC and Swedish comp will count for it in tournaments. And the 2 rules he states is don't be a dick, don't play a dick. And that works if you've got a small meta of people that you play at your house or your basement, but that doesn't necessarily work if you're an LGS gamer where you have to go and deal with what people want to deal with. Unless your club can get on the same page, it's a different story. And then I did reply, hey, listen, this is my channel. I did warn people that it wasn't really a battle report, it was more of just shenanigans and BS, but maybe I didn't make it as clear. Your video isn't getting downvoted because the spamming lists is getting, for its lousy, pissed off attitude. Hey, most of my videos are positive, but this one I wanted to post up there because I felt strongly about something. So, hell, I usually don't get too opinionated on my channel. I mean, if you ever watch the Sustainable Center, when he doesn't like something, he makes it known, and people disagree with him, but hey, it's his stuff. If you want to watch and listen to his videos, then it is what it is. PMP shout out, woo! Don't forget, if you're not already involved, check out the Painters, Motivating Painters thing that Dylan does. It's just a Google Plus hangout, or Google Plus page that we, get some painting done. Tom Dudley, I'm not a fan of the 50% Lords and Heroes. If kept under some control and reason, it won't be too bad. But it makes games on the universal scene, like it at your local clubs or GTs, more suspect to dickheadless ruining the game. To me, seems like it's edging too close towards the 40k plays. Somebody comparing Warhammer to 40k, that makes me very nervous. Yeah, I mean, you're going to go to your freaking game store and you bring that 2,500 point list to open game night, and you want to play a list that's fun, that maybe has, 40%, 60% lords. No, not 60. Yeah, wow, 30% lords. Say you dipped in some more points. Well, there's going to be somebody that might freaking abuse that and bring 3 dragons. Hell, if someone brings 3 dragons, mounted dragons or something, or 2, I don't know how many could fit in 1,250 points, but it's cool to see one. But the second I start seeing a few of them, and then like a caster on one, I mean, High Elves have some interesting combos that they could do. Whether that's a viable list or not, I don't know. But you slam all those phoenixes and dragons into one hero unit, or just one unit, and grind it up and move on to the next. Might not be a fun game. I'd like to see it as a battle report, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Joe Pearson, hey dude, I know you like the. I think you meant to say I don't like the 50% cap. I think that's what you meant. Though I found it very hard to watch your report due to your clearly dislike and disinterested in this game. Why do you even bother to post? I can watch due to your utter disgust. I can't watch due to your utter disgust with this game. If you don't like 50% caps, then don't play it. Like Eric, or like a Casual said, hey, we got to put this stuff out there so you guys know what it's like. It was a scratchy report because of the proxies and the silly lists and my disgruntledness and disinterest, but I gotta share my opinion. I mean, this is what I gotta get out there to at least make my point once or twice that I think it's stupid. I could be proven wrong down the road, but hey, there it is. That's how I feel, and I don't want to force people to unsubscribe because usually my stuff is not as negative, I guess. But hey, it is what it is. Jet Car. See my similar findings in the Brett versus a Vampire account. So if you want to check out his End Times 2500 point game, check it out. That's his battle report vlog number 58. Sam74 Mum. People who give the advice, don't play double Demon Prince when you don't like it, miss the point. In the competitive meta, you have to react to such cheese. Otherwise, you go down without a chance. Thus, I'm not happy with the rules either. If it can force people to feel triple Blender Lords or 10 Dark Elf Pegasus heroes, it's, and I agree with him because that's half the fun with the meta is having to react. And I mean, when the Demon Prince build came out, Light Council came out to counter it, or when all these High Elves and Dark Elves and Wood Elves came about, you saw more stuff to deal with Fast Cav or T3 infantry. So the game evolves, but just simply telling people if you don't like it, don't do it. That method of that thought process worked for the supplements when they were just a supplement. If you don't like the weird magic spinny table thing on the back of the Storm of Magic or whatever, I didn't even play that supplement. I didn't like it. I didn't feel like buying giant monsters for the sake of giving GW money. I didn't do that. And easily I could tell people, listen, if you don't like it, like me, don't do it. But this changes across the board. It's part of the game now. So, we got to deal with it. Peter, I have not tried the 50% Lords thing yet. Personally, I'd rather have seen 33% required core. Wow, very interesting. Up to a third of your army has to be core troops. That's interesting. It is the Lords that worry me. Loads of characters are still killable as they do not have the wards or very much equipment to each. Let me read that again. Hold on. It is the Lords that worry me. Loads of characters are still killable. Yeah, they are killable. I mean, would you rather have 12 ogres with 3 wounds each, or would you rather have 1 hero or a lord with 2 to 3 wounds each? Where yeah, they've got armor and ward save, but the potential to get killed or magicked off the board is there. It is, but it's yeah. I don't know what to say anymore. MC1 Gamer, too much type Nick. Yeah. But in short, here's my response. Cheer up. Put away the razor. Step back from the ledge. Don't sell your Skaven. It's going to be all right. Link to my audio. So MC1 Gamer's got a response to my opinions on 50% Lords and Heroes. Check that out. I'll link that below once this video is uploaded. Tom, or Thomham. My feeling is that it has put me off for the moment. I have sort of decided just to paint for the time being. See, that's sad. That's sad that this is pushing people. At least until the ET books or the 9th edition is out. And see what happens. This is due to a number of reasons. Oh, shit. We got 15 more lines. Wow. All right. So reason number 1. I like the game representing armies and battles, not particularly fancy playing warband hero combos. I agree. Hey, 7th edition is where I've always been at. I love that era. I mean, yeah, the heroes can charge out and kill you guys and you can't fight back, but it was war. I had 2 different flanks, and I had to worry about each flank and the middle and my heroes, and that was it. Now it's just there's no flanks. It's just wherever your horde is or whoever has the most heroes. Like, it's just, it's not the game to me. I've bitched about this in other videos. Point number 2. I really admit that my 2 armies, dwarves and orcs and goblins, don't particularly benefit from this rule at the moment. I mean, dwarves and orcs and goblins, yeah, you could do some spammy things and get some extra heroes down and whatnot, but does it change it? I guess not. Maybe I'd have to experiment. Number 3, the guys I play were easily keen to play this, so I tried 2 games. Game 1, ran into Dark Elf, Dark Rider, Warlock spam, plus seemingly endless Pegasus Riders, so that was fun. Game 2, the Warrior Chaos player was nice and didn't repeat any Lord selections, but still ran into Flying Demon Prince and each unkillable Lord. So, going back to Stephen Walker, I think there's going to be people that benefit from this more. Warriors of Chaos could definitely abuse this. And Dark Riders, or Dark Elves, you can just get more heroes or warlocks. in Warlock units and Pegasus running around and whatnot. It's the potential's there. I'm going to try to cut this off soon. There's a few more comments. I'll go through them quickly. So we got John Talby. I love the Bloodthirster model wielding a string of sausages. Yeah, I had to whip out an old model just because two Demon Princes, two Demon Princes. If you don't want to play like that, you don't have to. I would rather see a game of units rather than a scrimmage between some heroes and some fodder, which is my past couple games. Yep, lower points battles, but I've got a couple of infantry units out and about running around with some heroes here and there and some war machines and monsters. So it's fun. Check out my more recent battle reports. Starlight Night Flame. Not sure yet overall, but I do think it should have been 50% Lords and Heroes combined. Yes, I would have been down with that. Use 5% for your BSB. Bam, 45% Lords. That would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. It would have been very different. Maybe not as great. I might not have liked it as much, but I probably would have been more fine with that. That would have forced you to not be able to bring up BSB, though, if you brought the Gash or anything else for whatever. But hell, when you're sinking that many points to a hero, he needs to survive anyway. So if he's dead, then you're losing the game. I do like being able to bring something bigger than I was before. You never bought anything on a dragon, now you can, etc. But it feels like the rule change has overshot its target bill. I agree. This is a different Peter. 50% Lords is fine if both opponents agree. But even if you do use these rules, it doesn't mean you have to take full advantage of them. It's a recurring theme. I like it. A lot of these battles seem to be spent complaining about how many heroes you took. Just don't take so many heroes. Don't build a list to be as broken as possible. Hero spam plus shrine spam, and then moan about having a crappy game. Hell, I knew this was going to be a crappy game, Peter. The point was to just play it and see how stupid it really was. I just lost where I was. Love the videos, but maybe don't worry about optimizing quite so often. I know part of the point of this video was to teach how the 50% Lord thing is breaking. So, yeah. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to do more battle reports on this. And yes, both opponents should agree. Long on Wargaming, we like to also agree, hey, I'm going to use a special character this time around. It's just courtesy. I think special characters and 50% Lords should be part of that. Hey, do you mind if I do this? Or I'm going to do this just to give you a heads up. That kind of stuff works, but when you go to the LGS, people might not be as, cooperative. Isaac Loach. I like the new Lords and Heroes. It lets me take Archeon in a normal game. And he's used him a few times in 2 games. And, hey, Archeon's cool. To be able to field him is nice. Lindsay Nation. Played a 3-way battle royale this weekend using the new rules. My 2 opponents maxed out their Lord allowances. I took 20% Lords and around 30% Heroes. Did it drastically change the game and break it? Not sure for me. It didn't personally. I don't see my group going nuts. That's good. If you have a group that's not going to go nuts, then like I am, that's going to be better for the situation. But hell, dude, 3-way battle royale, you got to post up some battle reports. I want to see that. That sounds like fun. So the last comment here, Mr. Lenny Winks. We've been using 50% Lords and Heroes for a bit now, and it's been grand. But that's mainly because, I don't know, we don't abuse it too much. I use it to use special characters who are on OP and a Phoenix, and it's a lot of fun. When the lads I play with annoying use Dragon Riders level 4 rather than double Demon Prince, etc. A couple of us are heading into a tournament in a few weeks, and it looks like it's going to be all Undead Legions and Chaos Legions. Mega bent, by the way. Which doesn't sound fun at all. Also, Carl Fran's Ascendant proves that GW aren't too pushed when it comes to fairness about balance for wargamers. Yeah, GW has their own agenda. I would love to see GW get back on the tournament agenda. I mean, there's money to be made there. There really is. I mean, look at a company like Blizzard. Different company entirely, but Blizzard will run some of their own tournaments for StarCraft or Warcraft or whatever, and they're involved with the game development, but they're also involved with the tournament scene and whatnot. And I'm not much of a gamer, so I apologize if this is wrong, but League of Legends, I believe, is by Riot Games, and they're the ones that straight up do the tournaments. So hell, if GW got in the tournament scene, made some more money and just got involved, that'd be wonderful. I would appreciate that. But hell, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm just gonna pull up the video quickly to see if anybody left any comments on this here video, and then I'll close out. So thank you for watching. There's a bunch of you guys watching live. This wasn't meant to be a live event. I just wanted to use the broadcast function. But let's see if there's any comments. La 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 la. No comments. All right, cool. So there it is, guys. Just a reaction to 50% Lords and Heroes. Check out Lord Tremendous's and the Sustainable Centers and also MC1 Gamers' thoughts. And, you know, weigh in. I mean, my opinion is my opinion, so if you don't agree, fine, post it and tell me I have a bad attitude, but it's not it's not going to change what I do. Also, keep an eye out for some upcoming smaller games. We'll do that for at least a few more months, and then once Crossroads comes around, we'll dunk back down into the 2500. All right, see you guys in the next one.